I gotta say, I kind of love how this next ability turned out, right? So it's now the sprint abilities, and just to show you what's actually happening, so if we double tap sprint, we dash forward, right? And we leave a trail. So this is the soul affinity, right? So it's leaving a little soul cloud. Oh, there's a cooldown, as you can see. As soon as we get to that far, you know, it's on my hand. Okay, let's try again. Sprint, right? Trail, and then the trail gives weakness and withering, right? So it's a bit different to the ground pound, yet same at the same time, right? If that makes sense. So both of them just check if the player is doing the movement action, right? So sneaking or sprinting. And then if the counter reaches the right interval, in this case, I think it's 5, which I might have to change to 4, right? Because it seems like 4 is the perfect for double tapping, right? Or you can get to 1, 3, I don't know. Sprint for a little bit, or just a double tap. I'd kind of like it if it was just a double tap, so I might make it negative. Sorry, not negative. I might make it 1. But anyway, the other thing, actually, before we get to the rest of the sneak weapons, right? I don't play a lot of games with sound. Right, I think I've gone over this before. A lot of games I play without sound, old habit, and so usually I neglect the sound effect side of things, but hopefully that sounds a bit better, right? It's now got a ground pound sound effect to it, it's just the shovel flatten sound. Okay, on to sprinting. So I need to go, oh, that's not the right one. This one? Yes. So this needs to be swapped to sprint. I need to go ahead and give myself all 11 weapons. Right, so there we have it, all 11 weapons. Now I have fixed up the color balancing, so sky is now lighter, the ocean is a lighter blue. I'm still iffy on the deep dark. Obviously it's meant to be deep and dark, and it's still legible, right, but it is a little bit on the dark side. And, right, we haven't actually shown off any of the models really, have we? Right, so they all do have unique-ish models. Now, once we get to the actual videos showcasing each affinity by itself, because the whole idea is all the sneak mechanics are the same, all the sprint mechanics are the same, so I'm grouping them together, and then we'll go over the on attack, on block, taking damage, and defeating mobs as each affinity, rather than doing them all as a collection. So in those videos, we'll probably show off the models a bit better, and perhaps just go over these again slightly, if I tweak them at all. But anyway, on to the sprint mechanic. So, as I just said, they are all equivalent, so they all are just dash effects, if you will, right? So we double tap sprint, and we get teleport forward, and we leave a trail of water, right? So we can disrupt building, we can push back mobs. The other neat thing is it won't let you teleport into a wall, right? So if there's less than 2 blocks, you only teleport the 1, and only place however many water blocks. Essentially what I'm doing is I'm going teleport, place, teleport, place, teleport, place, right? Try and do it 3 times. And if you can't do 3 times, then it won't do 3 times, right? So against the wall, we only do 1. If we're right against the wall, right? Ooh, if we can get the... There we go. Right, it only does 1 block. Okay, so ocean, fairly self-explanatory, right? It's water. It does do contact damage. A lot of them still do damage, like the ground pounding. So, for instance, if we sprint into mobs, right? Well, they're behind us, so we can't really see them take damage. There we go. And they also tag with the affinity bonus, right? So every time we sprint, tags anything we hit with affinity, although he's now done for. I think that was close enough. Right, so if we sprint again, yeah, he gets the affinity bonus, which in this case is just more water and some damage. Okay, so that's ocean done. Nether. Nether's also pretty guessable, right? It's just a trail of fire when you sprint. Also with contact damage, though. Oh, we hit the grass, I think. Yes, it counts grasses as blocks, which is a bit annoying. Well, ooh, they're spreading a bit too much. You can sprint on the diagonal too. Right, so we get some contact damage. Let's try over here. Yeah, there we go. So he's lit on fire and he took some damage. And then of course the affinity bonus, again, just more fire, if you will. Then we have, oh, why do I have ocean twice? Did I duplicate it? 1, 2, 3, no, I'm missing 1. Right, because that's 9, that's 10. Ooh. Overworld? Do I have Overworld? No, I'm missing Overworld. Okay, let's fix that. I still haven't worked on how to actually craft them. I'm thinking of using the other Shulk Tower, right? We've seen it in a few other videos. It's up there, the one with the amethyst, as sort of like an imbuement station, if you will, where you can apply these triggers and these affinities, as well as some other bonuses, because I want to have a few more bonuses too. Okay, that was done, Overworld. Where's our little guinea pigs? Actually, our guinea pigs won't help us, because Overworld does poison damage, and poisoning doesn't work on you. Right, so we'll do some Vindicators, we'll sprint into them. Oh, so it leaves the little spore clouds. They now have poison. Right, we can get it ourselves if I was quick enough. Right, and it does contact damage like normal. Okay, so it gives weakness, mind fatigue, nausea, slowness, hunger, poison. 3 of these, I think, are from the affinity bonus, which is more poison. Essentially, Overworld just allows you to inflict a bunch of status effects. Then we have Golden. Golden should just be high contact damage. Yeah. And then the affinity bonus is, of course, just more damage, which is why they're all losing. Some more guinea pigs. Right, we should probably do these in F5 too. It's probably a bit easier to see what's going on. Right, so just a trail of gold, some contact damage, and then if the affinity procs, it'll do more contact damage. Ender. Right, let's see about this one. Make some teleport away. Right, so it's a bit random. Essentially, it just picks a random entity nearby, and they all group to that one. So for instance, that time they went to the husk. I don't think it does contact damage, no. So it's really just you dash into mobs to try to push them away, or teleport them away, and that way, they can't keep hitting you. And then the affinity bonus is just more teleports. So we have, Sky Soul, we'll go with Ancient. The Ancient should just be a trail of Evoker Fangs, right? Yeah, they get jumped on, and then the affinity bonus is a little black cloud, and then either more Evoker Fangs, Dragon Fireballs, a Spectral Warden, there we go, which I need to figure out how to make him automatically aggressive, because he's waiting for the anger bar to fill or whatever, and then he teleports away because he's Spectral, or just change him to a Iron Golem. Then we have Celestial, so this should be a trail of stars that do some contact damage, and then the affinity is that little proc, and more stars which then have some random effects. Right, there should be Levitation, I think a few status effects, whatever that one is. I think there's some good procs too, right? Okay, Deep Dark. Just Sonic Booms. Although this one is a little bit better, because it actually does AoE damage. All the others only damage the entities you go in contact with, whereas the Sonic Boom will hit all entities within range. And then, of course, the proc is just more booms. So, Deep Dark is really just damage focused. Then we have Enchanted, right? You can hear a little proc. Essentially, it just generates experience. Again, Enchanted, I don't know what to do with it, right? If it should give status bonuses or something like that. Actually, this card does, right? So it gives speed, haste, strength. So it's something you could use to buff other party members. But overall, it's just used to passively generate more experience. Right, so the first sprint tags them with the affinity, and then the second sprint actually generates the experience orbs. So, decent for farming. I do want to have some pretty high experience costs as well, so it should be useful. And then we have Soul, which we saw before, which is the little Wither Cloud, right? You sprint through the Wither Cloud, and then the affinity triggers Withering on anyone else nearby. Also, with the affinity, right, so currently, I think it's 8 blocks away. If you've tagged any entities with affinity, you can trigger that affinity within 8 blocks. And I don't know how to feel about that. On the one side, it's pretty neat, right? So imagine you're hitting something or using any of these abilities, and all of a sudden the mobs around you explode with the affinity bonus. Okay, that could be fun. At the same time, 8 blocks is a little bit far. So for instance, he should have affinity now. And if we sprint over here, right, he still gets triggered. So I don't know. That one's a bit up in the air, right? What should we go with? And lastly, we have Sky. Okay, Sky, still in the theme with everything else. I'm just sticking with lightning, right? So it's a trail of lightning. If we sprint, we can strike the blocks behind us, right? So you can sprint through enemies and just smite them with lightning. Cool. And then, of course, the affinity bonus is more lightning. So I don't know if I want to tie something else into it, because I am naming it Sky. The whole intention was to have something else other than lightning, like wind or something like that. But I don't know, because lightning is already pretty strong, so I'd feel like it's the OP one if I tie in some other stuff. Right, if I tie in like the gale effect that we can get from the biome. Oh, this is now in the hot season. Never mind, we won't get gale anymore. Or even just, like teleport away or something like that. And also particle effects for the dash. Because right now the Pineapple Effects is just a trail, but maybe I should do like sweep attacks or something in the trail to sort of make it look like you're actually dashing. I don't know. Food for thought, right? Still work in progress. Anyway, that will probably do it. We've gone over all 11 items, right? So we've done sneaking, we've done sprinting. Next up, I will have to finish all the actual specific abilities. So that, again, includes on hits, taking damage, defeating mobs, defeating players, and blocking with a shield. Okay, so there's 5. Did I count that out right? Because I do want the player to do something different than when you defeat a mob, because, you know, different circumstances. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. See ya.